Before I get going, I want to thank our staff. Jaden Olson's here, Eric Henderson, Freddie Coleman, and Casey Matthews. They obviously do a tremendous job, and I was assistant at the time, or at a time ago here, and no question they do a lot of the legwork, build a lot of relationships, and as the coach, you just try to come in at the end and not screw things up. So, like any signing day, this is extremely exciting for us. You know, to add two more young men to the stable, to our family, is exciting. Cameron Hunter and Seth Cota signed with us in the fall. And then now to add Tyson and Jared is very exciting. We had a scholarship come free around the semester and identified kind of a position-specific need that we were looking for to add some continued depth to a team that we already feel pretty good about, and just adding the right pieces to it. And Tyson really fit that bill. Jaden had some connections, led us to Tyson after our Denver game. We went out there and visited with him and his family, had a really good visit, and he committed shortly thereafter. And obviously to get the letter of intent today is really exciting. Tyson, a little bit in the mold of what's been successful for us, a little bit longer length at his positions. He can play anywhere from the 2, 3, maybe even some point, even in an emergency case, some point or some 4. But the length that he provides to us defensively will help us maintain the level of play we've had on that end of the floor. At the same time, he brings a higher level skill offensively, a pass, catch, and shoot guy that we're really excited about. And then Jared Samuelson is a young man who's going to be joining us as a preferred walk-on. Jared came up to camp this past summer, and the camp was extremely well attended, and probably from a talent perspective, the highest level of talent that we've had in that camp. And Jared was probably head and shoulders the most productive young man, and a very unassuming kid, but just really takes care of his business on a daily basis, and very, very productive. Whether it's a little shot fake that gets you off balance, getting in the paint, playing strong, shoots it at a high level. And when you look at Jared and his accomplishments, number one is a winner. His team's 27-1 this year, wins a state championship, and then most recently being named first team All-State, as well as being NebraskaHoops.com Mr. Basketball. It's a pretty special deal, and we're excited about both of those young men.
How much did opening up a new building this fall really help with those recruits and getting them here?
I certainly don't think it hurts anything, but I want to make it clear, we don't want anybody coming just for the bricks and mortar part about it. But I think with the success that we've had, and you're seeing, Kai come from California, Tyson come from Florida, our brand is expanding a little bit, and then you add the renovation to the sports arena, and those things are making us more appealing on the front side, getting us into some conversations. But at the very end of the day, we want to make sure they understand what it's about to be in our culture and fit in here.
Yeah.
A young man like Jared coming up to your camp clearly showed interest in you guys. What did you hear from him, and what's it like to be on that side of something, a young man showing up here in your building first?
Absolutely, and again, that's one where, the assistants did a good job of getting him here. I knew hardly anything about the young man, and after that first night, I'm singling him out to the whole camp. Just the way he approached things, the way he went about his business, and focused on the little details that made him successful. And anytime you have success, and you can, that helps, because it's attracting a bigger pool of talent. And football talks about it all the time. It's been very successful for us, and hopefully it's a great recruiting tool, because to have those young men on your campus and actually you can see them play is one thing, but to hang around them in the cafeterias and in the dorms and all those things is a big part, because that's what we really pride ourselves on, is our culture.
You mentioned Jared was going to come on as a walk-on. He's got a long list of accolades here. Why do maybe you or even your staff feel like he might have been a little bit overlooked?
That's a great question, and to be quite frank, Ross, I'm not even really interested in that. That's part of the recruiting evaluation period is that everybody has an even playing field is the evaluation, and we like Jared, and I think really down the road in particular, Jared's got an opportunity to play for us and compete for some minutes, and I think that's what I like most about Jared is that's what he wanted. He had some other opportunities, but he wanted to give it a shot at the highest level, and he also felt he had some other schools at our level that fit, but he also felt that he fit well into our culture.
Both of these guys, or maybe one or the other, have a shot at minutes next year?
We've really changed our tune a little bit, and from a standpoint that we want everybody to come in with a mindset that they're going to play. And I think that keeps their focus and their preparation. And they can go through the rest of their spring season in high school, into the summer, into the fall with us, with the mentality of, I need to get better because there's an opportunity for me to play, or there's a chance that I might be playing. And then as we round towards the later part of October, early in November, really sit down and then evaluate the redshirt process. But I want to make sure all of our guys are coming in here. Our program is at an all-time high, 4 straight 20-win seasons. Prior to this year, we're in the championship game again, back-to-back NCAA tournaments prior to that. I think we've got some good things going right now, and we want to keep feeding that.
Walk-ons playing at this level are few and far between for whatever reason. What makes you think this guy has a chance?
I think it's just so much of his makeup is not necessarily his skill set of how tall Jared is, how high he jumps, how fast he runs. Jared, you can see him win at a bunch of levels, and he's just a winner. He's just a tough kid. You saw some of his quotes about being here. He's really not interested in what happens to him. It's helping, doing what we as a coaching staff ask him to do, doing what he can for his teammates to help us put him in position to win. And I think, there's only one ball on the court, and only one guy's going to be able to shoot it at a particular time. And so you need some team guys that understand their role. And I really feel like Jared is a guy that just epitomizes, a winner.
Florida's a very talent-rich basketball state. Is there a sense of, hey, we had success getting Tyson here, we can go back there and get guys?
Yeah, when I stood up here almost 2 years ago to the date now as the coach and talked about our recruiting base, we wanted to keep it as much upper Midwest as possible and recruit like we play, inside out. And that's still always going to be where we butter our bread. But at the same time, my mind and my eyes were opened a little bit when we went outside the box a little bit with Kai, a young man from California, and then not on top of that, Kai had success in the way he finished the year, and so it was more apt to branch out a little bit. And I think, again, we're always going to stay tight as we can, but when you have a specific need and you have some contacts and you can still do your homework and find out the character and integrity that they come with, what type of student they are, and if they're really going to fit our culture, been open to it. And if that leads us down that path because of the doors Tyson's opened and Tampa Prep and his AAU program, great. But again, I want to make it clear that we want to recruit inside out, and if we branch out, that we're very comfortable with that and becoming more and more comfortable with it.
How did you come across a guy like Tyson, being that he's from Florida? Or how did that sort of start the recruiting process?
Yeah, I think in this profession, like probably most professions, there's relationships, there's contacts all over, and Coach Olson's been a tremendous asset for us. He's got relationships and contacts with different people, and again, when we had the scholarship free up, we were pretty specific in what we were looking for, and so you start putting some feelers out there to some people that you trust, that you have a little bit of relationship with, and they can identify a few people, and then you go down there and you start building and cultivating the relationship yourself.
That scholarship free up?
When Trey Miller decided to leave at the Christmas break, yep.
Everybody healthy and so on in the off-season program?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. I wouldn't say Paul's probably 100%, but he's been fully involved in our workouts, and the brace is off. We still have some tape on it. But yeah, encouraged. We were up at 6 this morning. Our guys are working hard and progressing.